This is the performance summary for week 51 of 2024, which is the week ending on December 20th. Let's begin by inputting the starting and ending values. So the starting value was the one on Friday, December 13th, 31,500. And the ending value was on December 20th, 3702. So I lost $798 last week, which is a loss of 2.53% on a starting balance of 31,500. Let's go ahead and input the trade list. We go to my website where I update the trade lists once a week, and these are the 5 trades that were done. And the theoretical percent was negative 2.6, so we outperformed the theoretical by just a little bit. And let's look at the trades one by one. So, first of all, last week was a pretty rough week in the markets. In the early part of the week, Fed Chair Powell made some comments that the pace of rate cuts may slow down next year because of some uncertainty with the incoming administration. Some of the policies may or may not reignite the inflation, so that caused a huge, massive sell-off on Wednesday. And the S&P, this is the SPY, the S&P from the open on Monday to the close of Friday, it closed down 2.44%, and that was after a pretty good recovery that it did intraday on Friday. So our portfolio, unsurprisingly, took a beating last week. So the first one was BK. This is Bank of New York, where we lost 1.81%. And the strategy is a dip buying strategy, so it was buying this dip and it took a loss over the course of the week. The next trade was Goldman Sachs, where we lost 3.7%, and very similar looking pattern here. Nvidia is actually the only stock where we made a small gain last week. We made 0.39%. So we bought this dip, entered here, and it recovered pretty nicely on Friday to make a small gain for the week. Oracle, we lost 2.4%. After the earnings on December 9th, it was down quite a bit, and so it bought on Monday and sold here on Friday. And the last trade was T-Mobile. That was a big losing trade, down 5.5% roughly. So we bought here and sold here. Now let's input the ending balance into the cumulative tab. So with last week's loss of $798, our running total since going live in June is now at $4,652. So cumulative percentage gain is 18%. And let's see how it looks on the graph. So here's where we are. We're a little bit off the peak, but not too bad. And let's look at how the equity curve looks over the longer term. So this is the back-tested equity curve from 1994, and we're right here right now. And to zoom in, let's zoom in from 2017. So this is the dip that happened last week, and let's look at the drawdowns. So this is the drawdown graph since June of this year, and this is the time period over which we've been live trading. And this is the drawdown that we had last week. So that was a roughly a drawdown of 9%, and that's not the worst one I've had since going live in August. In August there was a drawdown of like 13%, and that was during the Japanese yen carry trade unwind. So by any measures, it's not a big drawdown that we're in right now. And if we zoom out and look at the long term, this is the underwater graph from 1994. Here's where we are right now at around negative 8 to 9% from the peak. But the worst drawdown historically for the strategy has been to the tune of negative 22%. And it quite routinely hits the negative 9, negative 10% mark. So we're in a drawdown, yes, but it's a pretty routine one. And strategy is doing just fine. And so that is the performance summary for week 51 of 2024. If you want to learn more about the strategy, please visit my website at returnstream.com. I've got the URL pasted in the description box below. Thank you.